Hello and welcome back to the Conversation Is podcast. I'm Charlie Pitson and with me today is Joshy Boy himself. Again.
I'm back again.
Back again.
Feel
Fifth time.
I'm definitely the most regular guest at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it.
So this week the conversation is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Feet, man.
Feet.
That's just my first thought.
It's just feet, yeah. He does tend to have a fetish for feet, I must admit that, but don't let it spoil the film, even though it's in this a lot more than his usual.
Yeah,
It's
kind
too
of
much.
like he played up to it in this film a little bit. He's like, "Oh yeah, go on, we'll throw a foot shot in there just for the fans around the world."
There are no fans.
Yeah, I'm a relative newcomer to Quentin Tarantino, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a few of his films before, but it's only been recently when we've been watching a lot of them that I've started to watch a few.
What do you think of this then?
I like it. I think it's a good film. I think DiCaprio is actually really good in this film, especially the scene where he's doing. Well, he's playing the bad guy.
Playing the bad guy. So
yeah.
he's playing.
I can't remember what it.
DiCaprio playing Rick Dalton, who's playing Caleb,
that's the one. Caleb something. I
Koto
can't
or
remember.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was pretty good, and just his conversations with the little girl as well.
Yeah. What, the hostage bit or?
Both.
Or do you mean like
Both, to be
when
fair, yeah.
he's talking to an
just,
out character? Yeah.
yeah, his interactions with the little girl, like just.
She's a
beforehand.
really good actress.
Yeah,
Really good.
I mean, she's kind of pretentious in the film, really fucking annoying. The kind of girl that you'd want to punch in the face, but you know, yeah, she was
Sign
great.
of a true actor.
Of
If you don't
course.
want to punch him in the face.
If you want to punch, if people want to punch you in the face, it means you're a good actor.
So I'm guessing Ashley with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
That was a
so
recurring thing where it would be literally we'd somehow get into a conversation about Robert Pattinson. And he'd be like, I just want to
do you
punch
know what
that
though?
guy in
I
the
do
face.
agree he has a very punchable face. I think that's my big problem with him being Batman.
But that's the good thing about him being Batman. It means he has a lot of enemies who want to punch him in the face.
Well, no.
Do you see what I mean?
No.
I think Twilight tarnished.
I don't want to hate Batman. I want to like Batman.
No, the villains hate Batman.
Yeah, but
You like him.
so do the normal people.
He's gonna be good. He's gonna be great.
We'll see.
I mean, he'll be the youngest Bruce Wayne we have seen on the big screen. You know, we don't count Gotham.
No,
Oh,
not
shit,
on the
no, Joker.
Big screen.
Joker, the young Bruce. He doesn't count though.
I
It
don't-
has to be.
he
It
doesn't
has to be
count.
young Bruce Wayne, and he's Batman.
Yeah, he does.
But I think it'd be quite good because I've seen the cast is quite stacked for it, and I think there's a fair few amount of villains in it as well.
What's
I
this
think-
for now?
For the Batman.
Oh,
the
Robert Pattinson one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite stacked. The cast is pretty good.
I
I
mean,
don't know. I think it's gonna be more of like maybe I don't know. They might go with year one, like a year one Batman or something.
I hope so. Purely, I'm just not sold on Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. I'm not sure yet.
We'll see.
If he's gonna be like a prime Batman, then yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, but like
He's gonna pack on some muscle as well. So
he's not. I feel like I know it sounds stupid, but he's not suave enough to be Bruce
yeah,
Wayne.
but that's the whole thing.
He's
Isn't it? He's
not.
gonna get swole, isn't he? He'll get like Adam Driver swole.
No, not swole, suave. He's not
Suave.
He's not
I
as
think he said
suave.
swole. I was like,
Nah.
that's
In
the whole
fact,
point.
both.
He's
yeah.
quite suave.
See, this is my thing. Is he kind of is, but then again, I can't see Cedric Diggory being Batman.
But he was quite charismatic, though, Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, but
Cedric.
he also died like a bitch. So
Oh, it wasn't his fault.
it wasn't his fault, but he still died like a bitch. I can't have a guy who died like a bitch playing my Batman. I can't do it.
But does he look like a bitch?
Yes, he does.
There we go. Tarantino reference back on.
For fuck's
Otherwise, we'll be here for. We'll literally.
here
I think
forever.
we could be here for a good solid 2 hours, expressing
Yeah.
our love and hatred
Oh,
of
of
Robert
course.
Pattinson being Batman. So
Wait,
let's get back onto
yeah,
the.
but get back onto
Get back onto Once Upon
that
a
was
Time.
something. That was something I wanted to mention. What the hell is Cliff drinking in this first part?
Cliff, Bloody Mary,
Why has it got a thing in it?
celery stick.
Yeah,
That's just how it is, man.
people are fucking weird, man.
I can't remember what I think.
Drinks are so ridiculous. Look how ridiculous
And
that
I
looks.
think Rick is drinking whiskey sour.
Yeah, but see, whiskey sour that makes more sense. But you know, he's got a plant in his drink.
He's got a sell. Well, what's wrong with that? It's a stirring spoon, I guess. I don't know.
Is that what they use?
That's how it's literally vodka, tomato juice, Worcestershire sauce, and Tabasco, and a bit of black pepper if you like that. That is basically the drink. It's quite a savoury drink, if anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
I was about to say that's very savoury.
I don't mind them. I just don't like the vodka aspect of it. I'm not a fan of vodka, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. Yeah,
but it's not the choice of drink I would see Cliff drinking.
Yeah,
I'd feel like he'd just have a beer.
He would just have a beer.
He would just have a beer when it does feel a bit like I get like Rick's gonna have some sort of like cocktail.
Yeah, Rick would definitely have the cocktail on this.
I like the whiskey sour as well. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
it just fits his kind of look. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of like
it fits his character entirely. The idea that at the end of the film he's making margaritas at midnight.
Yeah.
Just in his
little pants and robe and stuff. Yeah, it's great though, isn't it?
It is great. He's a good character.
I think I prefer Cliff though.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Cliff's a bit too like. In fact, no. The end of the film. Sells me on Cliff. Look, the precursor to the most ridiculous scene I've ever seen in a film, ever.
The worst scene you've ever seen?
No, the most ridiculous. The most ridiculous scene I've ever seen is when he goes and gets the flamethrower from the shed.
It's from the shed, yeah, because you know the bit where they're showing that 14 something of I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. The one where he's like birding the Nazis.
Oh yeah. That's this bit, isn't it?
Yeah, this bit, yeah, and it just reminds me of Inglourious Bastards. So, you've seen that?
I've seen. I haven't seen Inglourious Bastards. No.
Okay. So there's a. No, I can't. Okay, we can't talk about that. Then I don't want to ruin it for you because it's a kind of film that you need to see.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know anything about the story,
I should have seen it by now. I think it's probably one of the only Tarantino films that I've seen pop up in front of me and go, oh yeah, I kind of want to go and see that.
Yeah. Or we should probably watch that at some point. It's pretty good. Honestly, I think it's probably. I mean, we can't do like a director or actor or whatever that rank in their films, but you haven't seen all of his, so you wouldn't be a fair ranking. But we could still rank the ones you've seen. I'm curious to see what kind of what I don't know. I just want to know what your favorite film of his is that you've seen so far.
Probably this, to be fair. I think.
You reckon?
Yeah, so far. I think it might just be recency bias, but like, I actually really like this film.
Don't know. It's usually people like give you shit for liking something that's new. So if I turn around and said, "Oh, The Irishman is my favorite Scorsese film,"
Endgame is the best film of all time,
or Endgame is the best MCU film, like people are like, "Oh yes, because it's a new one," but then they flipped it a while back. Where it's kind of like if you don't like anything new and you're like, "Oh yeah, what about the old?" Like you know, in bands, like, "Oh, I should play their old music," or "Why didn't they play this song when they're doing a new tour?" It's kind of come back to be the opposite way now. So like in this, having this be a favorite Tarantino film is kind of like a taboo in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, look, of course you're going to like it. You haven't seen his other films.
Yeah,
how have you not seen Pulp Fiction, bro? It's the best film ever.
Yeah, and
it won at Sundance. I think it won the Palme d'Or. Oh, do you know what I mean? It's not even his best film. It's a good film.
Yeah.
But
it's because it's an old film.
No, it's just because it's really good.
Yeah,
like,
true.
It's just the characters. I think that's. I mean, I don't. Tarantino's films, the same as Scorsese and all other directors. They got plot-driven films, obviously, of course, but it's mainly. But they delve deeper into characters usually than like say bigger blockbusters because they. I don't know. People don't really want to watch, character-driven content. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely missed this scene the first time round as well. The one where he's dancing with the girls, and I'm assuming this is an advert that he does.
Yeah, what's weird about it is why is the aspect ratio on the other like older shot stuff more like like a 4:3 ratio, but then that one bit isn't.
Yeah,
so is that recent?
Like
is that like a recent thing he's done? Because obviously, like this film is a bit more obvious in this, like compared to the Grand Budapest. But you've seen the Grand Budapest. We watched at least half of it together, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
and then the way he does the aspect ratios, so it's certain
certain time periods.
Certain time periods, yeah. So like obviously the main block of the film is in 4:3, which is for, I think it's the 1920s, when obviously Ray Fiennes and the kid I can't remember is Zero. I can't remember his actual name. Tony Revolori. You know, using Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Tony Revolori, yeah. That's them too. So they're most of their bulk. He
plays Flash. Yeah, he plays Flash Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like that. I think it's pretty good. It doesn't. I think they do the same thing here, but it's usually for when they're showing clips of the films he's worked on or like TV shows he's worked on, and
yeah.
So that's it doesn't work the same, but I think it adds a lot to it. Do you know what I mean? It puts you in that kind of
it adds an aspect to every scene.
An aspect ratio.
Fuck's sake.
You know it's coming.
Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate is a bit...
She's great.
I feel like she's okay, but she's a bit underwhelming. I don't know. She's not in enough of it.
Yeah, but she's in too much for it to be not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
She's in it. It's more of a questionable kind of like, right, are you in the film or not? Like, can you... Like, she doesn't really do much in it. If you took her out and just inserted her in... I want more of it, because I think she was really good as Sharon Tate. Like, it felt it felt she just kind of captured that essence of it. Do you know what I mean? It's such a shame that she wasn't given too much to work with.
But that's what I mean. Like,
apart from the ending scene, the ending sequence.
But when she first meets Rick, if you took out everything up until she met Rick,
she meets. That's at the end of the
film.
I
mean, technically, that's what I mean.
She meets her like at the end.
Literally, yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like,
oh, hello, Rick, and it's just. Give her a hug and then they go inside the house. And
but if you
credits.
Removed everything up to that point, it wouldn't burden their story at all. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's the point. I feel like it would be.
There's definitely some bits in this film that could have been cut. I don't know. It's something about like. There's always a build up at this point where I'm still waiting for the title sequence to come in.
Yeah.
Like I feel it's just like this bit now. And then when they have the I was going to call them Charlie's Angels then. You know the girls and guys that like they all hang out at the spawn ranch. When they got the little they're singing that weird little.
See, that bit confuses me quite a lot.
It doesn't. It just feels weird, doesn't it?
I feel like them being upset with him and how quickly things escalate really didn't
make it much sense.
Didn't make much sense because all he did was push his way in to go and say hello to someone.
Well, I mean, if you were in that situation, you were one of them, and then.
You'd be like, dude,
some
what
guy,
the fuck? But not like...
You haven't they technically kidnapped George Spahn, and they've taken over his ranch, because obviously they're, like, I'm guessing they're all homeless hippies at the time, and so they all just, and they're young. Yeah. They need a place to stay. One person was like, this is this blind guy who owns this old movie ranch that's, like, doesn't exist anymore. What if we manipulate him to let us stay there? Pretending we care after him and stuff like that. They start a business with the horse thing. They make money off that. You know, they probably steal stuff as well. It's just they probably are looking after themselves, and obviously if someone knows George, goes in to see him and sees the state he's in, he might bring the authorities to them.
Be paranoid about what he'd do.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't know what their conversation was, so I guess they're under that kind of like, well,
I still think.
What if he tells the police and then we all get arrested for kidnapping an old man, blind old man? Do you know what I mean?
But I don't think it would. That wouldn't make you angry, though, would it? Because surely, if they go out and knife his tires,
I think they're trying to scare him, and they're just too naive and young to know that. Because like, they don't know this guy. They don't know what kind of character he is.
But
maybe that's their attempt.
And also naive enough not to know that if you slash his tires, he's probably now going to go to the police more than ever.
Yeah, but it's Cliff. Then you know he's not going to go. Yeah, he's just going to handle himself when he beats the shit out of that guy. That I can't remember his name now, Chum or something, or Cam or.
the guy who looks
the blonde
like,
guy.
The guy who looks like he's about 14 before he gets beaten up, and then after he gets beaten up, he looks like 40. About 45. Yeah,
yeah. His nose gets so beaten.
Yeah, he gets so fucked up by Cliff that he ages forward like 30 years.
Christ. No, do you know what I mean? He handles it himself. He knocked him his ass, beat him a few times. You know, kind of scared them more than anything, and then goes away. And then
I'd still go and tell the police.
I wouldn't. It's Cliff, isn't he? He fixed the tire. He's kind of old fashioned that way, isn't he?
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, there's one thing I was want to talk about. You know the jump cuts in this.
Oh, they're so jarring.
I was reading an article while we were watching this earlier, and we were thinking with the DP or the editor. I think it might be in the editor. I'm talking about the jump cut. Yeah, it would be the editor. Well, yeah, it would. Yeah, it was the editor. And he was talking about some of the jump cuts, and obviously there's some really obviously bad ones. There's one really good section of it is when Rick's in the trailer and he's shouting at himself, and they're brilliant.
That's when it's kind of good.
Like, and then when 1 minute he's like, "Oh, you don't do it again, you son of a bitch," and then he's just drinking he drinks the hip flask and throws it out of the trailer, like the cut between.
But the jump cuts with him talking to the lead actor,
Timothy Oliphant, yeah. But
it
has
so weird.
I didn't notice it the first time, but it has
the click.
The two weird clicks.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's jarring. And there's a few other. It's quite a lot.
At the beginning of the film, when they're in the bar, there's one awkward jump cut.
Yeah, it goes from Rick to Cliff, like for no reason, and he's talking as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's so strange.
It's just like, what? Okay, but like, the more I watch it, I guess I can try and see if I can figure out the reason behind it. Because I don't think someone of, Tarantino's, just how fucking big he is, he would not let something like that slide, you know what I mean? But
he must have done it on purpose.
At the same time, you seen The Irishman. It's a brilliant film. It's just some of that CG. They could have gone with younger actors for some of it.
They should have.
At least the bits where he's still a truck driver. And then when he becomes the part of the union thing, that should be Robert De Niro. But I don't want to get into that because that's a whole thing.
Not today. That's a whole other thing.
But yeah, it feels like
this is a very cool driving scene as well. By the way,
yeah, because it's the soundtrack as well. And they have that radio station always on. If you notice, it's always on in the background.
Oh yeah.
As much as long as they're in a car, obviously. But
this makes you this scene makes you want to go out and fucking drive.
It feels like you're on the trip with them half the time. It's great, isn't it? This is one thing I love as well, because I think the reason I love this film so much right now is because it's been a while since he's done a film kind of set not in modern times, but more. Well, I want to say, if you think of the last few films he did after this was The Hateful Eight, which is in a western set in the 1800s. Django Unchained, same thing. Inglourious Basterds set in the World War, and then before that was Kill Bill, which is got modern elements to it, but most of the time she's in somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
And then before that it was Jackie Brown. So like you don't really get much of him like working on these kind of films. He's been doing like other kind of genres recently.
Oh yeah.
So this is kind of like his comeback to his 90s films when he was even more of an independent filmmaker. Like it feels like Pulp Fiction in a way, if you get me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get you.
It jumps through characters really well. And I think I started to appreciate those weird aerial shots they do. So there's one where Leo's in the I think he's rehearsing his lines in the pool, and it pulls out to Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski and in the car to go to the Pearl Mansion. And there's one year.
This one's a bit strange, though.
This is the weird one. This is the one that kind of just doesn't feel like it should be here. It feels like the shot for the 20th Century Fox logo.
Yeah,
the way it pans up to the spotlights. It's weird. Like, but the one with DiCaprio when it pulls down, it's like, oh, okay, right now we're going to show you what Sharon's up to. And
that one's good.
It kind of feels like
that one's clever. That one was just kind of put in to be like,
That was kind of like, oh yeah, right. He lives behind a drive-through theater in like a weird lot with with his dog, and he eats cheap mac and cheese. Basically, it's weird.
He lives in an absolute shithole, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure where he lives is an actual mission in GTA 5.
Yeah,
when you got to fight that gag,
it's very GTA 5-esque.
Van Noise, isn't it? Is that how you say it? Pronounce it? Van Noise?
See, what I want to know is, why is his TV on before he's even got into the house?
Keep the dog company. Next question.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a thing people do. They leave the TV on for the animals in the house just so they don't feel completely alone. Because they have feelings too, Josh.
Yeah, but animals aren't stupid.
The biggest question is, why is his front door still open?
That is a good question, but also, why are the lights on? Why is everything on when he comes into the... Does he not...
Also, if you live in a caravan, it's not a front door, it's actually a side door in it, technically. So
yeah.
I'm just going to go through the side door of my caravan.
But why are all his lights on?
You got Cheese Whiz in his fridge as well. Again, Make it feel like the dog. Right, imagine leaving your dog in complete fucking darkness all day with no food, right, and nothing on in the back. It's complete silence. It would go insane.
Yeah, well, don't have a dog then.
It would get really depressed.
Do you know how much money that would cost to do? Why would you not just... If he could afford electricity like this, right, he should be able to afford to get a better place.
Think about it. You never know where he lives. He could be illegally sourcing that electricity wherever he's parked.
That's true.
Because you don't just get electricity. He has to be in a certain kind of place for it to get electricity for a caravan, isn't it? Right. So, he's probably... I'm not assuming it's illegal, but, this guy allegedly killed his wife. So, I mean, I don't think he gives a shit about stealing electricity.
Do you think he killed his wife?
I don't really care or want to know. I like it, like the...
No. But do you think he killed his wife?
I don't know. I couldn't give you a definitive answer for that. It doesn't...
I think he killed his wife.
You reckon?
In fact, no, I don't.
He's quite an enigma, but...
Yeah, there's no real, solution to it. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, did he kill his wife? No, maybe.
Yeah, but it's quite good, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I like it.
It keeps you on your toes a little bit.
I like it.
You do forget, though. I'm not going to lie, you do forget that about the whole thing. Yeah, this is the shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I would do that.
I like that shot, though. I like that shot there.
You got them coming in the car in the background.
I don't know. It's something about, these, 1960s, 70s set flicks. Have you seen The Nice Guys?
Yeah.
The one with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
That's such a good film, right?
And
that's probably my favourite film of 2016. If I had to grow up in a decade, it would be Hollywood 1960s, just before the end of the golden age of cinema.
Yeah.
It's quite sad though, isn't it? Because watching things like this, we would never experience anything like this ever.
Yeah, but
this
could be that thing that we were talking about before, like we said about Midnight in Paris. The whole idea that the best generation's always the ones that you didn't live in.
No, I mean, I was thinking more of the kind of the way life is now with technology and stuff. People won't be interacting like this. People will be on their phones, or they'll be too drunk.
Yeah,
no one will be really enjoying it. I guarantee you, people here to get drunk, but none of them get so drunk that they're aggressive.
Yeah, because
and obviously they wouldn't get aggressive because of the Pale Mansion, and they'd be banned for life
because they've got cocaine for that.
Yeah, it's true. And probably they have got weed and all other drugs. But my thing is not so much the fact it's Pale Mansion. I'm just take that outside. It's just that we'll never have these interactions with other people as you would have back.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that would have ended in the late 90s.
I mean, have you ever been to a rave, dude?
Yeah, I've been to a rave.
Raves are great.
Yeah, I know, but that's one thing. Do you know what I mean?
True.
I feel like more people interacted with each other, and they would have, because now we're all stuck to our phones, and even if say one of us just I get rid of my phone and get rid of all this kind of stuff, I don't need it. I'll keep TV and that's kind of a different thing. But when you're going to work or going out to social events, you haven't got a phone. But other people will. Not everyone's going to want to do it. So then you're stuck and you have to go, well, I have to go back now because I can't talk to anyone unless they're on their phone. If you go out for drinks with friends, usually everyone is like this, kind of just and then everyone's texting each other, or they're showing each other memes and stuff. There's nothing.
But then again, it's just become an element of of how people do things.
And no one really has close enough friends to hang out with, because they don't need to. They just kind of chat online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
all that's kind of gone, and it will never come back because of technology. And that's what I'm trying to say is it's not. It's kind of like the Midnight in Paris thing. I get that, because obviously Owen Wilson has his reasons for hating. But it's kind of similar for us. I think he just prefers the 20s. That's his kind of. I mean, that's his ideal kind of style. And I'd say the same. 20s would be that ideal place to live in, but it would not be, because there's other problems they're having going on. It's not like I'd want to be the year now, but in terms of the social way, I think the 60s and 70s were probably the best decades to be to be quite young. To be from your teens to your to your 30s.
But just to play devil's advocate, you could say that because everyone is so accessible nowadays, it's easier to go out and easier to do things because, you know, everyone has a phone, everyone can be contacted all the time.
Yeah, that's true. But then once you meet up, you're back on your phones again.
Yeah, but it's you could see it like almost as like
people are
just
usually
an added element
late
of
as
it.
well. For most things, a lot of people are later to things as well because they're usually stuck at home doing stuff. It's not like a physicality to things anymore as well. A lot of creativity is lost because people.
But then again, you could say, like, for example, people that I don't see all the time, say my friends back in London or here or there.
Yeah.
I can communicate with them.
It is handy
all the time because, you know, say we go on PS4 and we play this and we do that.
But you could.
Like,
it's not like they didn't have phones.
I'm close to them because of that.
I also feel
I
like
would be if it was in this era.
Probably a bigger aspect of it is here everyone was just kind of like they worked on themselves because that's all they really had to do because they weren't always, you know, on their spare time, they weren't on their phones. They were doing practical stuff, so they were probably working on something they wanted to do. So, say a creative person would be writing their script or do photography. Or with us, when we have a day off, usually we're tired because we're working 40 hours a week, and we're just exhausted from being on our feet all day. So we spend our time just watching TV and going on our phones all day. And I'm just saying, it's just that kind of I don't know. I feel like everyone's just getting on with stuff.
Yeah, it is very different, but I feel like there's
so it's quite ironic actually because there's probably hundreds of directors out there who you know, especially people like James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, all the directors who heavily use CGI in the late 80s, early 90s. They were probably excited about the whole, oh, look at this new technology coming now, look at the great things we can do with cinema and whatnot. But there's an irony there because we're basically given cameras in our pockets, so we can go out and shoot films whenever we want, and they can look good. They can look pretty good. You know, you lack the depth of field, I guess, because but like everything's shot in like HD, so we've got that. But then because we are on our phones all the time doing other things, we spend our spare time not utilizing the technology that we should be. So we're using it in such a weird way. It's almost ironic.
Yeah,
we're blessed with new technology, so it's accessible for more people to make their art.
And yet we don't.
But yet we don't do it because we're glued to the wrong things.
Yeah, we're doing.
And there's a select few who get out there and you know, they know how to just step away. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like you're more likely to kind of.
But then
work
again,
towards your goals if you didn't have this kind of burden of like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and again, YouTube, and everything.
Having those things has put a lot of people who wouldn't be in a powerful position normally in a powerful position. People like, you know, social media influencers and those.
Exactly. Is that a good thing though?
I don't see it being a bad thing. I
think
it's a new, you know, the internet, and you know, and the internet is a big discovery, and you know, it's finding its feet in the world, and I mean it's already found its feet.
Yeah,
you know, we know that, but like, it's,
I don't know, it just feels it's almost too accessible because there's some people who know how to use it right, and social media influencers, YouTubers, and whatnot. I mean, I can't say anything different. I mean,
you could technically say that about, you know, anything to do with, like, say if there's someone who can afford film equipment in, you know, this time, or, you know, something, they might not know how to use it. They have the resources for it.
But usually the people who did have access, you went to film school.
Yeah. You
see, and I can imagine there's a lot more film school dropouts in the last 25 years than there were in the last, you know, before that, because people are like, well, I don't need to be here. I have all this stuff for me. You know, imagine film schools now. There's probably a lot of courses that just don't exist anymore. I don't really know. It's bigger in America than it is in the UK. We usually have like drama or theatre schools. We're more kind of that. America's also all about film, really, with the exception of kind of like New York City, which will have like, you know, prolific
quite a lot of stuff,
theatre schools and whatnot, but. I got friends who went to like film courses or film schools or whatever, and most of them dropped out because they were like, well, I can learn this on my own now.
Yeah, there's no
you
point
can
in
teach
me
yourself how
doing
to use a camera. You can teach yourself how to use a camera anyway. It's quicker to learn. So say, back in the 60s and you wanted to get a film, make a film, and you didn't have to use a film camera. Imagine if you fucked it up and then you wasted so much film. You could fuck up, your stock basically.
Mm.
So you'd have to learn how to use it. With us, we just got to shoot on our phones, and it's just kind of done for us. Like,
everything is done for you.
Oh, we got to look at the lighting and everything like that, and work all that kind of thing out. But everyone knows how to do that. People know what looks good digitally.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the end of the year. I was gonna wait. But I feel like it needs to be done now, and that is your favorite film of every year of this last 10 years.
Long time.
So that's 2010 all the way through to this year now.
And let me tell you, Charlie, I've got some absolute scorchers on this list.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear
because I'm going to troll you so hard.
You've got a first and second place. You've got an honorable mention. Yeah.
I think a lot of them I've had because I know a lot of my choices aren't going to be the best films of that year. I've accepted that.
It's your favorite film.
It's just my favorite films personally.
Oh no, I haven't done. I don't think it's not a. It's not a best.
But I feel like
your favorite film?
I feel like people would still be angry, even though we've given that justification.
Yeah,
people will still be like,
just to let you know, right? This is Josh's favorite films.
How could you like this more than this? It's like, well, let me tell you why. Because some films are, parts of my childhood, and I'm thinking, there's a reason why this is above, say. Like, you're not going to see any Inception or Wolf of Wall Street on my list, by the way. Like, it's not happening.
Okay, right. It's just.
I'm just going to preface that.
Let's get cracking.
So 2010. I'll let you lead off. What's your favorite film of 2010?
All right. I struggled with this one.
I struggled a little bit.
If I'm honest, it wasn't a great year for film. It's probably the year of all the years we've had this decade. It's probably been the worst year of film. Not, I try to say that not so much in the worst year as in, but there's been so many good films in other years.
Yeah.
I thought it was the worst, but if you had to, it's the worst. Fuck it.
All right, just come on, tell us.
So, my favorite film is The Social Network.
I agree. There we go. That's the first one we've agreed on.
Oh, you picked Social Network too?
Yeah, I picked Social Network too. I mean, I know I joked, but how no, not How I Met Your Mother. How to Train Your Dragon is second. It's comfortably second.
That's your honourable mention.
It's my honourable mention is How to Train Your Dragon, but Social Network, I agree with you. Yeah, it's definitely the best film of 2010.
My other one is True Grit, the Coen Brothers film.
Fair enough.
If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen True Grit.
Pretty good. It was a tough one. That was quite tough because I do love True Grit a lot.
But Social Network was good. It put Jesse Eisenberg on the map as well.
For me, really. It was all Aaron Sorkin all over the place. Like any film that he's written, I don't see it as whoever's directing. If it's David Fincher, if it's Danny Boyle, I don't see. I see their style, but the writing plays a bigger card in those films. So Sorkin just bleeds through way more than a usual screenwriter would, unless they're writing and directing.
And let's be very clear, very class actors as well. Jesse Eisenberg was very good. Justin Timberlake, whenever he was on screen, is really good. Andrew Garfield was really good.
Rooney Mara was great as his ex at the start. Oh, it's such a great film.
Good film.
Right, let's move on to 2011.
2011.
You can.
So see, mine changed actually. Because there was a film that I missed out, and I feel like it doesn't get enough love, especially as a superhero film. Is X-Men First Class as my choice for 2011.
X-Men First Class is your first.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's
all I'm gonna say. Mine's Midnight in Paris, but I mean, if anything, I should be judged more because of who made that film.
You could, but I guess, but you can't really. Someone's not bad at their job because they're a creep.
Okay, that's fair enough. But,
you know what I mean?
Like, there's a bit more into that, but we're talking about the films for a minute. Like, I did not want to put this on my list because it doesn't feel right.
But it was a good film.
But I think that
it was enjoyable.
If I sat and thought, okay, it was my favorite film of 2011, like, I can't. The first thing I put in mind is Midnight in Paris.
For me, the only problem I have with Midnight in Paris is the transition between him getting in the car and then somehow going back in time. For me, it's
almost like it couldn't happen, Josh.
I don't see it happening, so I'm like, but they don't give an explanation as to how or why it happens.
It's a Woody Allen film.
I don't care. There's no explanation as to why or how.
It's not. Yeah, but you gotta think about it, right? films that give it explanations and exposition are usually big blockbuster films for
Yeah, I guess.
everyone, because not a lot. Some people just want to go. Some people just want to go and watch something and just
the guy who follows him. How does he then end up back in time?
Because I don't know how that works. I don't actually.
Rules? He goes to a different time, doesn't he? He doesn't even go back to the same time.
It all depends on whoever it is. So maybe his era that he thought that'd be a nice time to go back. I don't know what. I can't remember what it was. Really bad choice, obviously. Well, what's your honorable mention though?
My honorable mention was Captain America,
the first Avenger.
Yeah. Right, what's yours?
Mine's Drive.
Drive's a good film.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to be my number one. But
I think mine was originally Captain America, but then I realised X-Men First Class.
I seem so pretentious right now. Like,
I'm just putting down funny films, like.
But I know you're genuinely that's genuinely serious.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, I don't see any like X-Men.
Like
First
I
Class,
like all these films. Just say
film.
like I like. Do you know what I mean? I love Captain America, and I don't agree on how to drag, and I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair.
I like the book. I love the books.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, not a big fan of.
There's an appreciation of the source material.
I can appreciate it in terms of the voice cast, but that's it.
Oh yeah, Jay Baruchel. But I mean, I put down X-Men First Class as the first one because I think it is probably the best X-Men
with the first
film
Avenger
come
though.
out.
Like I wouldn't even put it on any list just because it's not one of the. I love so many Marvel films that are way better than that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've only seen First Avenger like 3 or 4 times. I haven't seen it that much.
Is it like 2011 like a dry year for you?
2011 was very dry year for me. Yeah,
No,
I mean
fair.
X-Men First Class is a clear winner just in my mind because I feel like it is one of the best X-Men films that's ever been made.
Probably is the best one. Oh no, X2. X2 was amazing.
Actually, no, there's another one on that's coming up on the list later, which
Okay. It's not going to be something. Okay, we're not. No, if it's what I think
it comes up as
so
a clear winner for one of the years.
For me. Josh.
So
Josh.
actually,
I know.
It's the second X-Men film that comes up on this this list of mine. So 2012. What's yours? 2012? Because mine was a clear winner as well.
Mine was The Master. Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mine was Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. You're picking films that are the best of the trilogies.
Yeah, but do you know what? Actually, no. Because me and Will had this conversation a couple months ago. We watched Dark Knight Rises back and we were like, actually, this is probably the best of the 3. In terms of like just a film in general, we think it's the best of the 3. Because
that's a bold statement. Because there's controversial.
There's good aspects of Dark Knight, obviously. One of them.
Where do you rank Batman Begins though? Which is the clear best film.
I put Batman Begins at the bottom. It's not to say it wasn't a good film because it definitely was. It's just that all 3 of those films are very consistently good.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah,
but I feel like Dark Knight Rises is a lot more complete of a film than The Dark Knight is.
Well, yeah, it's because it's the ending.
Yeah, of course, yeah, but that's what I mean. No, it's a really good ending. I think Tom Hardy's very.
I like
good
the ending
in
of The Dark Knight. But I just prefer Batman Begins. There's something about Batman Begins feels a bit more of a superhero film.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And also, Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, I mean, beats anyone, man. Scarecrow's my favourite villain of Batman, and then it's the Riddler.
Yeah, fair enough.
Joker's on my top 10. Like, I'm worn out for him, so...
Oh, yeah, I think we're all worn out for Joker. But what was your honourable mention? Oh, wait, what was your choice?
Mine was The Master. Yeah.
Oh, was The Master, yeah.
What
was your...
Moonrise Kingdom. The Wes Anderson film.
Oh, right.
You seen it?
Yeah.
So good,
yeah.
right?
Mine was Looper.
Looper?
Yeah.
Okay. A Rian Johnson film. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I don't think it was that great of a film, but I really enjoyed the concept behind it. I think it was done well.
The concept
was well enough.
The concept is like kind of what that Gemini man wants to be, and it's like, how do we make a new Looper film?
Yeah, literally.
No, Looper was a good film. Yeah.
2013. See, this one I know is going to be so controversial for me. So controversial.
The more controversial, the better, honestly.
What's yours? We'll go with yours first. Because I'm sure I know what it is.
I've got quite an obvious one.
What, Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay, Wolf of Wall Street's my honorable mention.
Alright, how bad is this going to be now?
Monsters University. Because Monsters Inc. was a very good film, and I feel like it built on it, and I think it was a good film. Monsters University. You hate me so much right now. I can see it in your eyes.
You heard that? Oh, that came out your mouth. That came out your
Don't
mouth,
get me
Josh.
wrong, Wolf of Wall Street is 100% the better film, and it's probably one of
I
the
didn't
best
want to
films
put it
of the
on
last
there,
10
but
years.
like I've watched it so many times.
But for me, if someone sat
be...
me down and said, "Do you want to watch The Wolf of Wall Street or Monsters University?" I'd pick Monsters University.
That's due to the length, though, clearly, isn't it?
Not really due to...
I don't have 3 hours. I have roughly an hour and 37 minutes.
Because
look.
I've watched Wolf of Wall Street to death now, and everybody always fucking raves on and on and on about it, and I get sick of hearing it after a while. It kind of kills the buzz for it for me because it's a good film, but
for me, it was one of those films I put down because it was between that and I picked Francis Ha.
Yeah.
The Noah Baumbach Greta Gerwig film. I want to put down, but there's something about the Wolf. I don't know why. It's become the Pulp Fiction of our generation.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like.
It's
such a great film.
You're kind of lame if you like it.
You're lame now for liking it. It's quite weird, and I don't care. I love it. Like I watch it like a few times a year. You know.
Oh, it's a very good film.
The length doesn't feel like it's 3 hours. I feel like it's Scorsese's best paced film he's ever made, but I think that's due to the fact that how I think his ravenous lifestyle is a bit more extreme compared to Henry Hill's, who's probably like a good This is probably the second, of us. But I don't. He crams so much in, but he does it so well. I think you got to appreciate it for what it is. It's such a great film. It's probably Leonardo DiCaprio's greatest performance.
Yeah, and for me, 100% by an absolute mile.
Like I know he was great in The Revenant, and Revenant was his year that he got lucky that there was no one better than him.
Yeah.
I feel like if he did The Wolf of Wall Street a few years later, or if McConaughey wasn't, doing Dallas Buyers Club at the time, I think he would have won the Oscar. He was close to that.
But these things happen. I do think that it's, for me, if we was to do a top 10 list, from the last decade, just of how good films are.
Yeah,
I think
it would be different.
I think it would definitely be top 2 for me.
I think mine's a little mixture between of what I personally preferred compared to like what I think is best as well.
I think if we're talking just best films,
my best and my favourites. So like, obviously, I could say like, my favourite films of 2013 was This Is the End, and it probably was in my top 5 of films of This Is 2013. But I wouldn't say it's just my best or my favourites.
Yeah, true.
So I've just tried to lift it down from that. But yeah, so 2014.
I feel like with 2014, neither of ours are going to be the same. I feel like we're gonna have a different. I feel like we're not gonna have any similar films because I've got Godzilla as number 1 just because I'm a Godzilla fan.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, I quite liked it. I think if we're if we're talking about other films in the year, because my second choice for the runner-up was Interstellar. I feel like
that one. All right, I'm not judging you on that one. But people will judge you on that one.
People will judge you on that
one. Like people love Interstellar.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck. I liked it. I really liked it.
I'm surprised. I did like Interstellar.
However,
years after I watched it.
Because this is going to be a biased list because this is my personal for me, I grew up watching like Godzilla films, so to see another Godzilla film come out in my lifetime was a great thing for me, and that's why it's number 1.
It's gonna keep getting better. It's gonna be more and more. I like the second one better. I just like the vibe of it.
Yeah,
it felt more of a monster film.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
The
first one was just too much of this father.
Too many
and son,
people. Yeah, too many people. But I do still think it's a good film. I think Bryan Cranston should have been in it a lot longer. It was a bit stupid that he died so early, but spoilers.
Oh, it's been out for 5 years.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston died a bit early, but at the same time, I don't think it takes away from the film being quite good. The final fight between Godzilla and...
I did like the final fight, but then obviously the villain was just one of the those unnamed, didn't it? The Motus or
Mutos.
Mutos,
yeah. So what was your first?
Mine was the Grand Budapest Hotel.
See, I knew you were going to pick Grand Budapest. Do you know what? Because we only watched half of the film. I reckon if I watched the rest of it, it would definitely be on my list.
Honestly, right? I think this is the year where that film can't be beaten. It was the greatest film. Like it was the best film of that.
I think the only reason
I love it because I love Wes Anderson. The humor's great. It's everything about it. It's just like you can just. Yeah, focus on it. I don't think I've seen anyone watch the Grand Budapest for me, being on their phone. They just they're so in.
For me, if I would have put it on my list, I felt like I would have been cheating a little bit because I haven't seen the whole film.
Yeah.
So I like, it'd be one of those things where I don't know if I'd like the rest of it, this, that. So that's why it's not on my list. If I watched the rest of it, I reckon it would be on, at the top of my list.
Yeah.
But I can't know that really because I haven't seen it. So
we need to finish it then. You need to finish it. It's such a great film, dude. My run-up was Boyhood, Richard Linklater.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Which was a film that when it came out, I think it was the Oscars. So I think it was against the Grand Budapest and a few other films, and he was nominated for a lot. And I kind of dismissed it for a few years, and then I watched it. Maybe I think I found it. Yeah, I found the film in, I think it was HMV in like a bargain bucket.
Oh my
and it was
God.
like £3, and I thought, well, I'm gonna watch that now.
Why not?
I started watching a few more Linklater films because of Joey. He got me really into Richard Linklater. Watched Dazed and Confused. Watched a few other films, which I'll explain in a few minutes. I just fell in love with it, man. It's just like the ending's really emotional. You have to watch it. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, right? But
long film.
I can't believe it took me years to appreciate like the intensity of how it got made, and like the fact that he managed to get all these people together once a year to film a few sequences.
Yeah.
To show this kid growing up, and his own daughter's in it as well. She plays the daughter in it.
All right.
And you see every character grow up, and it's such a great film, man. I don't know. It would be my top film, but Grand Budapest was just too good. So I mean,
Grand Budapest. From what I'd seen of it so far, it was quite good.
Yeah. So what year are we on now? 2015. This is such a
2015. I really cannot stress this enough. I know I've said it like 3 or 4 times already. I really cannot stress this enough. I know these aren't the best films of the year, but they're my favourites. Right, because there are going to be some 2015 films that people will be like, "Oh no, it's clearly the best film of the year," and I just didn't even like consider for my list.
Yeah.
So my number 1 was Ant-Man.
No, I'll give you Ant-Man. Ant-Man was good. I love
Ant-Man. I
love Ant-Man.
What's yours for number 1?
The Big Short.
The Big Short, fair enough.
Do you watch that?
I haven't. No.
I've
seen parts of it. No,
yeah,
no. I think you've been watching it in here, and then I've been like walking in.
I was watching it with Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know my second choice is going to seem pretty hypocritical considering some stuff I said earlier, but
okay.
It also links into the thing of it was part of my childhood, therefore
All right, well, spill the beans then. What's your honorable mention?
It's Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
What did we say about Jurassic World earlier? That would
because there were major parts of the film that really bugged me, but I still enjoyed it quite a lot.
Oh, you mean the discussion we made earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant when we recorded. No.
Oh no, not when we were recording. No, earlier.
That's why it's an honorable mention. If they were good, then it would be a favorite film, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Jurassic World. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen either of them.
It's okay. I feel like for me there were some big ones. Like there was a very unceremonious kill that happened like midway through the film. That was kind of really unnecessary. And there's also Bryce Dallas Howard outrunning a T-Rex in heels, which didn't make any sense to me then, doesn't make any sense to me now. I still argue with my mum about this literally every time I see her. Every time we talk about the film, she's like, no, women can do anything. It's like, no, I'm sorry though, but like,
no one, I don't think anyone could run in heels after Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's like yes, women can do everything. Yeah, we get it. Like, but at the same time, a T-Rex is a T-Rex, and you're wearing heels. Like, it's not happening. There's no way. I
don't think it matters what you wear, and I don't think even you fucking Usain Bolt, you're
literally,
not getting away.
He is
from a T-Rex.
Food. Yeah, he's dinner straight away.
He's getting fucking munched on at a Kit Kat.
What's your second film?
Mine was Steve Jobs.
Fair enough.
Getting another Aaron Sorkin written script directed by Danny Boyle.
We like that.
Such a good film. Seth Rogen is Steve Wozniak.
Who played Steve Jobs?
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, exactly. There we
brilliant.
Go.
Absolutely brilliant, there, man. And the way it was written and just like the way they did like the 3 acts.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 events that he worked on. So the first one, I believe, is the Macintosh. So that was 1984. I think it was 1984, yeah. And then the second one then was the next box. I think that's what it was called. I think that was like 1989 or 1990.
Yeah.
And then the other one then was the iMac. 2016. This is probably going to be the longest segment we've ever done. But it's got to be done. It's
2016. You're probably going to be surprised by my number 1.
Okay.
It's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
That's an odd choice.
I mean, it is an odd choice, but it was literally just because of what's it called?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, is it?
No,
John Goodman.
John Goodman. John Goodman's performance,
and then John Gallagher Jr. is in.
Yeah, but John Goodman's performance.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's really good in that film.
It is. To be fair though, it's probably out of the Cloverfield films. No, actually, no. I forget. Cloverfield is so good.
Yeah, the first Cloverfield, is unreal. But like, it's a worthy successor.
Directed Cloverfield, the guy who's doing the Batman. I'm pretty sure he directed.
Is it? Oh yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I remember seeing something about this a couple weeks ago. But yeah, no, I think the first Cloverfield film is definitely the best.
Yeah, Matt Reeves.
Because TJ Miller's in it.
Randomly TJ Miller's in it. And
TJ Miller's
Lizzie Kaplan's in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lizzie Kaplan is in it. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Doesn't she die?
Yeah, she does die. I'm pretty sure she has a pretty brutal death as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I should like. That's such a good. No, Cloverfield one.
I mean, what was it? The Cloverfield Paradox is the third one. That one was awful.
The Netflix one, yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was like the space one, right?
Yeah.
Didn't watch that.
What's your number one for 2016?
I got The Nice Guys. Shane Black.
Fair enough. I haven't seen. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I don't remember any of it.
It's just.
I remember not paying attention.
It's that one
while I was watching
scene where Ryan Gosling sneaking into that. I think it's a bar or something. Punches through the glass, and usually they get through, no problems. He cuts his entire hand, and he has to go to hospital. It's funny as hell. It just flips it. But no, I love the kind of I think it's set in the 70s, yeah. But I love that kind of like Beverly Hills, like, you know, Los Angeles kind of like set in the past.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of neo-noir kind of like films, like set like I just love that kind of stuff, like detectives and then it's just Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. They're idiots.
Yeah,
in their own way, and it's just a perfect like it's if you've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it was Shane Black with Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer, similar kind of thing going on. It's just the way he does those kind of. I just like those two films as well. But the Nice Guys, and my honorable mention is Everybody Wants Some, which is another Linklater film.
I haven't seen it.
It's set in the 80s about like a college baseball team.
Oh, right.
It's really good. You should watch that.
Oh, I feel like that's a lot less mainstream.
Still a lot of talking.
Yeah,
you know, it's like Dazed and Confused. We watched it last night, and it was just, it's a lot of talking.
There's not like a lot of big events that happen. It's just the day in the life.
Yeah, it's nice. I think it's set over. So I want to mention I've seen it like 3 times, but I always get a bit thingy with it. But
yeah, I think my honourable mention is definitely a lot more mainstream than yours.
Yeah,
mine's Deadpool.
Deadpool's good though.
Deadpool's a very good film, but like, you know,
I feel like you're being more honest than me. I feel like I should really pick something.
To be fair though, I have to be honest because like there's a lot of films that I know are really good that I haven't seen. So it will literally it's out of the films that I've seen where it's like, oh yeah.
To be fair, obviously as I get on, like a lot of my films are quite Oscar baity films because obviously I try to watch them all in one year because you can't really have a fair thing like I'm not voting for that, or you can't vote for anyone anyway.
Yeah.
But you feel like, oh, I want to be able to judge it and see if I can guess what's going to win and whatnot. I don't know why, but yeah, no, Deadpool's a good choice.
2017. This was the year of the other X-Men film that I said.
Days of Future Past.
No, actually, no. It's Logan. Logan was my favourite.
Days of Future Past was 2016, wasn't it? No, 2014.
I don't know actually.
No,
I feel like Days of Future Past was
fucking Apocalypse came out 2016. Days of Future Past was 2014.
Yeah, it was a lot earlier than that.
Apocalypse was 2016, 2017. Oh, Logan. Yeah, no, fair play. Yeah, give you Logan.
I like it because it was a brutal X-Men film, which we got to see.
Possibly the best X-Men.
Wolverine, you know, catching these hands. Well, no, actually, people catching these hands from Wolverine and then losing their hands because he was chopping them off.
Would you watch the noir version, the black and white?
I would actually, yeah.
To see what
it looks like, to see what it feels like.
Right. That's James Mangold who.
Do you know what I find hilarious about that film?
What?
It's as soon as they got like, you know, the adult rating.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of the film starting, you see tits. Just unnecessarily, there's just tits in a fucking X-Men film.
It suits it though. It's Wolverine.
Literally,
with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine anyway. I feel like he's a bit more,
aggressive.
He's a bit more aggressive. He's like when you see on the animation show, you don't see this guy like he's going on fucking people and he's like killing, smoking cigars, drinking like booze all the time. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't get that from like any animated Wolverine show. You get a little bit of beer drinking, cigar smoking, maybe.
Yeah,
but I feel like he's more of a ruffian than
yeah.
that. I love it.
Definitely.
And I
does,
love
does some crazy
it.
shit.
It kind of bugs me because like I like some of Origins.
Oh, get out of here!
I
boy.
like the bit of Origins when he's with his wife and all that. I love those scenes because that feels like that should belong separately, and it felt like if they made a film more about like it was, do you know what I mean?
To be fair, the best part.
Can't explain.
The best part of Origins for me.
It just gets worse as it goes along, though. That's the thing.
The best part of Origins for me, was the credits.
Oh God.
I couldn't stand that film.
Fair enough.
What was yours? Did you say?
Mine is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
I haven't seen it, so
Martin McDonagh, man, just smashing it. I wanted to put 7 Psychopaths as my favorite for 2012, and there's too many good films that come out in 2012.
So yeah, to do it for this. Yeah, I respect that. I respect that.
But 3 Billboards, man, I absolutely love it, man. Sam Rockwell, just Mac from It's Always Sunny. His mom's in it. Plays Sam Rockwell's mom. Still smoking heavily, but she actually speaks a lot more rather than grunting. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Frances McDormand, Woody Harrelson, mate. The whole entire cast is great. Just Peter Dinklage is in it.
In fact, actually, I've seen bits.
You must have seen bits.
I've
definitely seen we watched it. Well, we were watching it once. Probably again. Well, she's probably showing Lauren it, and you might have come in. Yeah, no, that's my. What's your honorable mention then?
My honorable mention was Get Out.
Get Out. Oh, get out here! You
Get
should have put that number one, mate. You should have put that number one.
No. Logan was too good. I'm sorry. Get Out was very good though. It's a very close honorable mention, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
because it was just a great film.
It's weird seeing Jordan Peele do horror as well. It was.
I mean, he absolutely fucking nailed it.
Have you seen Us
first
yet?
time round? I haven't seen Us yet. I do really want to see it.
I want to see it. Yeah,
but
he's doing another film soon, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's on job at the moment. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Busy boy.
Yeah, what was your?
No, okay. Mine was Baby Driver.
Oh,
because this is after I learned that 3 Billboards technically came out 2017.
Yeah, so Baby Driver was
Baby Driver was my
2017
my number one. So like that's how much Baby Driver was just. No one does music and action. No one does music in film better than Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
close second, Tarantino. Clearly,
yeah, clearly,
and then I don't care about anyone else. Like Tarantino nails it, especially Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the film we are talking about, but we will come back to that. I don't know. Baby Driver was
Baby Driver was a very good film. I think for me it was like Get Out and Baby Driver were like
yeah.
But then again, I feel like
you seen Baby Driver once, didn't you? And that was
in fact, I've seen it twice because I watched it again after that. To be fair, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Did you just chucked it on?
Yeah, as I was going to sleep, like.
Oh, Netflix, is it?
Yeah. Just chucked on Baby Driver. Why not?
2018.
Oh, right. 2018 is going to be a really long one for me because I've had to put 3 down because I couldn't limit myself to 2 because there was like one of these films where I was like, I'm not leaving that off the list.
Yeah.
So my number one, because I remember you probably don't know what it is. You've been trying to guess it and you couldn't. It's Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
100%.
You say Marvel film. I just think it's Sony.
That's why I said it's kind of my basically.
Sorry when you said X-Men earlier, and I didn't expect Logan because again,
I mean it's not really an X-Men.
It hasn't got the tag on it.
But no, Into the Spider-Verse for me was 100%.
I know how much you like that film as well.
Huh?
I know how much you love that film.
Oh yeah, I think it's one of the best Spider-Man films of all time.
Probably is the best Spider-Man film.
think.
No, Far From Home. Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
That's
in fact no Far From yeah. We'll talk about Far From Home later. Yes, Into the Spider-Verse I think is one of the best. I think Spider-Man 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Yeah. And then Spider-Man 2.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Yeah.
That was a good one, but. And then we'll talk about Far From Home later. But for me, Into the Spider-Verse is probably one of the best Spider-Man films ever made. I think if anything, for me, it was a better film. People are going to hate me for saying this. It's a better film than Infinity War, for me.
That's fine, you can say that.
I can say that. I can say that. That's fine. That's okay. It was.
But I'm not going to stop the people from knocking on that door and asking to murder you.
I want to point out that even though I have 3 into 2018, none of them are Infinity War.
Wow! All right, okay, cracking. Let's what's the other two then? Oh, I'm curious.
Okay, so we go straight into my other 2.
Let's just go through the other 2. Yeah.
I originally had down Black Klansman for number 2 because that was a very good film for me. I think Adam Driver was unreal.
Adam Driver, mate.
He's just.
You could almost say
sick.
he drives the film.
He does drive the film quite. Oh, what his feet on the screen?
Oh yeah,
the yellow feet.
Small feet. If it's on his feet, we will point out.
Yeah,
I feel like we need to.
We have to.
It's been about 45 minutes since we've mentioned feet, though.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of feet.
Oh no, yeah, Sharon Tate.
There's a Sharon Tate in the cinema.
I swear we mentioned that.
I don't know. We might have.
Don't know,
if we haven't, we've mentioned it now. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So this is what Black Klansman.
Black Klansman is number 2, and then my third one is something that I know that you said you have no interest in watching, but Ready Player One. For me,
yeah, I have no interest in watching that.
Is number 3.
It's not my type of thing. Like I like sci-fi, but I just don't.
I have to say until you've watched it, like you can't. I
can't judge it. I can't judge it because I haven't seen it, but it just doesn't. It's not my cup of tea.
Because to be fair,
I
didn't think much of it until I watched it, and then after I watched it, I realized that it was something that I could watch over and over again, just because there's little things that you don't catch first time around. And
I'm quite boring though. Like I'm a big fan. Like it feels like it's more like a family film. Something you'd watch, you have to watch with your family, and it's uplifting.
To be fair, there's murder in the film. People die. It's a.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it a chance in time.
Roller coaster.
How long is it? Is it over 2 hours?
I think it's. I don't know, but Simon Pegg's in it at one point.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He's a pretty important character as well.
I also think it's because I'm not interested in the lead. What's his name now?
Ty. Oh yeah, he's
Ty something.
Yeah, he's pretty boring. It's not.
Ty Sheridan.
Is it Ty Sheridan? I don't know.
I think it's Ty Sheridan. You Google it. Google it.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised
Ty
by
Sheridan.
how many different Easter eggs and different things they managed to get into the film, because for me it looks like they'd have to pay a lot of money.
Is it? I feel like it's better than Pixels though.
It's 100% better.
Do you
than
feel
Pixels.
like
Pixels was awful?
Is it kind of a film that it's like, right? We all sat down, we all watched Pixels, and Steven said, "I can do better than that," and he was like, "Fuck it, Ready Player One."
See, I think it's even different from Pixels, because for me,
it's a video game movie.
I'm watching through the. It's not even just video games though.
But is a new one kind of now with Ryan Reynolds?
See, I think that's going to be sick. Just because, for me, I was watching the entire films. Like, there's no way that they're getting all of these references to different things, and they're getting all of these brands in this film, and it's not costing money. Because I was like, they've pretty much managed to get everything that they wanted. I think there was a story actually where all of the brands that they wanted to get, if they wanted a Nintendo character here, or there was a Street Fighter there, or something like, that they managed to get all the licenses for everything apart from one thing, and it was one of the main parts of the plot that they had to change around from the book because they couldn't get the license for something. I can't remember exactly what it was for. We'll check now. But they managed to get literally everything that they wanted apart from that one thing, and it ended up being a big part of the plot they had to change from the books.
Oh no!
But no, it's just watching back through it again, seeing different characters that you didn't expect to see before.
Yeah.
Like, you'll go through it and you'll be like, oh look, there's that guy from Mortal Kombat, or
I feel like I probably should watch it now, because I hate to be that person who tries to talk about something that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And give an opinion. I've done it in the past.
Hang on, cultural references. Hang on.
There's gonna be a fucking lot.
Oh, there's a lot of references in the film.
I feel like I should know, because I feel like it should be a surprise.
There we go. The only one that they couldn't do was when they were negotiating with Warner Bros. Because they could not secure the license for Close Encounters of the Third Kind from Columbia Pictures.
That's hilarious, because that's a Spielberg film.
Yeah, and that's why it's really weird. They for some reason they couldn't get it. Oh no! It wasn't that one. No, it was Blade Runner. That massive part of the book was referencing Blade Runner, and they had to change all of it.
Isn't the film in a dystopian universe?
Well, the film
isn't that how they get into he puts on the VR or whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and then everyone lives their lives inside this inside the game pretty much
So life is a simulation.
Life is
exactly.
Okay, it's like the Matrix,
right.
but
So
more fun.
I'm starting. You have my curiosity.
Now
you have my attention.
It's essentially, for me, it's like the Matrix, but I don't mean this to make it sound bad.
Better than me.
No, I don't mean this to make it sound
better
bad.
Than the Matrix.
It's like the Matrix, but more fun.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
Like the Matrix is very serious, and everyone can only really do what you'd be able to do in real life. Everyone it simulates real life Matrix, or what we consider real life. You know what I mean? Whereas Ready Player One is like just everyone's imagination's going crazy. Like if you want something, you can get it. If you want to drive around, like in the car from Back to the Future, you can do it because you can buy it, wherever, and you can just it's an world of infinite possibilities just because of culture.
All right, that sounds interesting.
Popular culture, actually. It's crazy.
All right, what was that? That was your 2018, right?
Yeah, that was my 2018. What were your second and third?
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
did you? No, you didn't tell me your first one. Did you?
Yeah. We were very enticed to Ready Player One.
Go on.
You got me there. My favorite was The Favorite.
The Favorite. I haven't seen The Favorite.
The Yorgos Lanthimos film. Honestly, right, when I watched it in the cinema, I remember tweeting saying, "I guarantee this is my favorite film of 2018," and it was. And it was nothing comes close. I just I almost put The Lobster as my favorite for it was The Lobster, his other film with Colin Farrell and stuff. It's about people, if they don't find love, they turn into basically animals and stuff.
Oh
it's pretty fucked up. It's good though. I just love it. Olivia Colman, amazing,
can't go
amazing
wrong.
Man. Like, watch it. That's all I'm gonna say is watch it. I'm not gonna tell you anything about the story.
I'm assuming
it's so good.
What's your second one?
My second one is Vice.
Vice, okay. I haven't seen Vice either. There's a lot of films in
Vice,
that
Adam McKay, Christian Bale, Sam Rockwell. You can't be Amy Adams in it. Just exceptional.
Amy Adams, legend.
And now we come upon to this year, the final year of the 2010s.
This one's a fun
one.
I
know this film's coming out in this month. Obviously, stuff like Star Wars and whatever.
Oh yeah, but no one's putting Star Wars at the top of their list, are they?
I don't know, it could be good, but
it could be very good.
That's for another time, but
got to think about it this way. Revenge of the Sith ended up being a very good film. People just didn't like the prequels trilogy as overall, because the first two were trash. Third one was
the lead up. The lead up to the dark side was a bit iffy for me. It happened too quickly.
But the Revenge of the Sith is a lot better of a film.
I feel like they should have started implementing it a bit earlier on in the trilogy. So like throughout his entire life, he's been kind of groomed more than anything. That would have worked way better.
If that film was part of the original trilogy, or it was a film of that standard wasn't part of the original trilogy, you wouldn't think of it any differently, really. You'd probably say, "Oh, yes, the worst of the trilogy," but it's not a bad film. It's still quite good.
It's the best one of the three, though.
Yeah, it's definitely the best one of the three in the first three.
But anyway, so 2019, what's your favorite film of this year?
See,
this is going to be a hard one.
These two were very, very close for me. My first one, I decided in the end, was Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Nice, yeah,
nice. Purely because of the Mysterio scenes.
Yeah, they were
the
amazing.
Mysterio scenes. Yeah. The CGI scenes were amazing. And I think
I wasn't expecting it as well, because it was quite long, and I was just like, I want this to be the entire film. Please make this entire film. Oh, the illusions! They nailed it. I'm so glad they brought Mysterio into a film. It's
yeah.
And then
Jake Gyllenhaal really well as well. They did it really well.
And the reveal, which obviously people would know anyway, but the reveal how they did it, and he's got that like mocap suit on.
Yeah, the mocap suit
because
is hilarious.
Instead of being like in the comics, he's more kind of like an illusionist. So it's more like magic, fake magic. I like that they've. No, but they've made a modernized version.
They've
of it
definitely modernized.
They've used the fact that you can use CGI.
But even in the comics, most of the time he was just a visual effects guy.
Yeah.
He was never. I mean, there were points where he.
But it was a lot of practical stuff.
Yeah, but there were points where he did get magical powers in the comics.
Oh yeah.
But that was through some.
But
other
obviously, visual effects back then, it wasn't like heavy CGI.
Oh yeah, it was a very different. But now
it was just CGI. He was like acted and stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, but the fact that his mocap suit actually looks like his
mocap suit.
It looks incredible. It's
so great.
Good.
What's your second one then? That was a good one.
Second, what did I have for second? I had Lion King for second.
Lion King. You like The Lion King?
I like The Lion King.
Fair.
It was a bit weird, but I think it was a good film.
What do you think of the soundtrack though? Do you think the new voices? I think Billy Eichner is a really good Timon.
The only unnecessary thing about the film was the pandering towards Beyonce and giving her own song. That was the only thing that was a bit.
So it was a bit forced.
It felt a bit forced just because it's Beyonce. You feel like she needs to have a song in the.
I felt like there was a lack of Donald Glover in terms of singing though.
But the best part of the film was, the bit where they transition.
Yeah. Oh, his voice.
And his voice comes in. And you're
good.
like, yes, Donald Glover.
When he's doing that, it was like yes and
yeah.
He's doing the way he does it. Like he just shuts off from the world and he's just.
And then you hear Seth Rogen go, stop riffing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, that is the best. No, that's the best song. I listened to the soundtrack if I watch the film.
Oh yeah, it's a great film.
I love the soundtrack from Lion King. Ever since we did the episode, I've been obsessed with the soundtrack.
But see, my problem.
I love that song.
My problem with people's views on it is, it's not that different from the original. I was like, it's not meant to be that different.
Same fucking film.
It's the same film. That's why.
It's like someone going out and saying Jane Silent Bob Reboot is basically Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
It's like, that's the point.
Because that's what it is.
That's the point. But yeah, I don't see I don't really. I think the complaints are unnecessary because you can like the first film more. I still do like, the original more than the second one, but you can still appreciate how good the second one is without trashing the first one.
It being the same story is still a completely different film.
Exactly.
And is that I don't know. I'm not judging on that. I think that's pretty good.
I think there could have been more distinction between characters. I think obviously you can't really do that. It doesn't really work that well with live action because you can't make Scar look like this evil lion and
Yeah, well, they did give him
king.
I kind of think they did give him a scar.
They gave him a light scar and slightly darker hair.
Wasn't he quite underwhelming though, his look?
It was, but
they could have given him a fairly bigger.
But then again, there's not much you can really do without it seeming too cartoonish. Because what they wanted to do was make it more realistic.
They could have made him a bit more rugged.
They could have made him a bit more rugged, but then again, that would have taken away from the realism of. Obviously, it's animals talking.
But then again, you seen wild cats in the street that obviously ones that look after.
True.
And they're all quite. I mean, we took in my family took in a cat. That was living on the streets.
Oh yeah,
she was awful.
Yeah,
but she still kind of got the kind of like.
But then again, that's probably because it's been maltreated. The only thing about
but he might be maltreating himself.
The only thing about Scar was that he was just evil.
Yeah,
but he was still a very
people who have evil negative thoughts often look uglier.
Well, we can ask Katie Hopkins about that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Anyway,
so yeah, Lion King was my number 2.
I think mine's going to be a good lead into the rest of the film. So my number 1, which I watched for the first time yesterday, but I loved it too much, and
it's not.
I've never felt such emotion in a film in quite a long time.
It's not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's not. It's Marriage Story, the Noah Baumbach film. Scarlett Johansson.
It's quite recent, isn't it?
It came out literally 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
Friday, I think. Watched it yesterday.
It.
Dude, honestly, right? Oh. It's so emotional. It's such a good film. Probably his best film since Francis Ha. So I watched while we were young as well, which is another one of the films. Ben Stiller, that was good, but
I'm going to assume that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is number 2.
It is, you're right. And that's how we come back to the film. That was probably the longest segment we've ever done on this.
And at this point, we've seen quite a lot of feet in this film.
We've seen a lot of feet that we haven't. No, there's feet there. There's feet there. If we were like, what's that? That cinema sins. If we had a sin counter for every bare feet we saw in this, and I'm talking full feet now, like
that'd be a lot of sins.
It'd be a lot of sins. A few hundred. Why does he make them have he always gives them dirty feet as well?
I know.
They're not just clean. They got black on their soles and their toenails are long
dirt and it's just horrible.
Dirt. Yeah, I get it for her, but I mean,
do you know what's hilarious? Is I reckon
there's no excuse for Sharon Tate.
This would be your worst nightmare of a house, wouldn't it?
It fucking would, yeah.
This is your worst nightmare. Look how dirty this house is. It's something
out of Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Definitely.
I
especially with the rat in the
I would
corner
not
squealing.
sit down. I wouldn't sit down in here.
It's the rat in the corner squealing
could you
and
go
stuff.
In here? Could you go in this? Exactly.
No. As soon as I went in the house and heard the rat in the corner,
yeah,
I'd be like, nah.
Dude, I'm like Howard Hughes. I could not go in there.
I thought you were going to say Harold then.
From
Harold and Kumar. It's really clean.
He is. I am like Harold. Yeah, I wouldn't sit in this, but I wouldn't even touch him. I would not even go in there. I'd be like, George is alive.
I thought he'd be dead. I think when we were first watching this film, it was like he's definitely just.
You reckon they've got his body laid?
His body's just
he's just died, and maybe they think he kills him or something like that, and then
that's what I thought.
That would.
That's why they were chasing him off. They were trying to stop him from going in because his body was just in the back, just dead.
Yeah,
I thought that's what it was, but.
So this is apparently there's a realer than real universe in Tarantino's, and this includes Reservoir Dogs, True Romance, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight. Then there's the movie within a movie universe, which are all films and those characters would watch. This includes From Dusk Till Dawn, Kill Bill, and Death Proof. Numerous characters are references in other films. True Romance's Alabama is first mentioned in Reservoir Dogs. Pulp Fiction's Vince Vega is the brother of Vic, aka Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs. By the way, I'm reading this off some site, but I just want to know what you think of it.
Yeah.
That's not so much just telling. Tarantino's Pulp Fiction character Jimmy Dimmick is the brother of Mr. White. Pulp Fiction's Mia Wallace describes a TV pilot that fits with the characters from Kill Bill.
Right. Okay.
It honestly, right? I think it's just a brief one, but Kill Bill references Paula Schultz, the wife of Christoph Waltz's Django Unchained's character. Inglourious Basterds' Archie Hickox is the great-great-grandson of Hateful Eight's English Pete. There are crossover brands too, like we've said, Pacuna Burger, Red Apple, and Geo Juice. The exception is Jackie Brown, which is in the Elmore Leonard universe along Outer Sight. Now, it'd be fun to see how, well, they basically just say like they want to see how Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fits, and I think it fits directly in it. And there's also a thing with how this film and Inglourious Basterds kind of warp the reality a bit. So obviously, you know, in real life, Sharon Tate, J.C. Pring, and the rest of them were murdered.
Yeah.
But in this film, it just flips it on its ear. And it just goes completely insane for like a good 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Inglourious Basterds doesn't go insane, because it's quite, you know, gory, but
yeah,
the ending with how Hitler was murdered and how they actually win the war is obviously
it is a bit crazy. Yeah,
it's like the opposite of Wolfenstein. Instead, and the man in the high castle and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's nuts, isn't it? Like they just burn him, they're just shooting Hitler's face, and they just like, yeah,
it's like, yeah, oh, wow.
But yeah, that's kind of like, it's so weird how they're all linked, and I think it kind of makes this film a bit more interesting when you're looking. I think
it's cool. I think it's unnecessary, but it's cool.
Yeah, it is a bit unnecessary.
Because like, I feel like it's the same thing with, you know, the Pixar universe and stuff like that. Is that it's all linked, yeah, but you know, none of them ever really appear in any of the other films. You know, it's all very inconsequential stuff that you can just get away with, you know, mentioning that, you know, this character is related to this character.
I think, yeah, because they do the same with Disney and with the whole Frozen,
I think
Tarzan and Little Mermaid.
If it's stuff, you know, say like, you know, cinematic universes where characters, you know, interact and, you know, appear in other films and stuff like that, then it gets interesting.
Well, I like the influence of this because, like, it's not so much it's supposed to be a shared universe in sorts. Like, because obviously, if he was going to do that, he would just do it. It feels like it's his stamp, and his characters feel like he's that good, he's that prolific of a writer that all his films fit together without being together.
Nah, but see, I disagree because I feel like that's a very easy way of doing it. Because you don't, none of the stories ever really overlap.
Obviously, like he's subtly showing that like they exist together, and sometimes he's not.
Yeah,
when name dropping.
I think it's cool. I still think it's cool. I just don't think it's as masterfully done as, you know, having overlapping stories. Because then at that point you have to really consider what's going to happen with each character and how, you know, how one story affects another story. Because then it might affect it the next film round and stuff like that. And it's all very, very complicated because you have to get everything right. I think his films are meant
to be just one film.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Apart from Kill Bill.
Which is what I like.
But I see Kill Bill as like one film. Because it's one cohesive story.
Yeah.
I don't, he's not a sequel kind of guy, do you know what I mean?
But I like the fact that they're all that they're
Kill
all...
Bill isn't a sequel; it's a continuation of the story.
Yeah,
so
of course,
it makes sense to be Volume 2. I think that's what I think the same with Guardians of the Galaxy. They don't feel like, because they exist as their own one thing at the until Infinity War. It felt like more of a volume.
Yeah.
So it was continuing the story that literally just finished. Apart from obviously it was set a few months later.
Yeah,
but
until they went into the into the Avengers and everything starts to come together.
And that was going to be
at that point it does start to get complicated, and you do have to start considering, these characters that have had their own franchises up to this point, like Thor.
Yeah,
Thor's going to be in the new Avengers, or not the new Avengers,
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
New Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's a character who's had 3 of his own films dedicated to him. 3 films.
Yeah,
is now going to be just another character in Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that it takes a lot more intricacy.
Well, that's what they do with Avengers, isn't it? Any of those ensemble bits.
But I feel like that's a lot more intricate than, and I like the fact that these are all separate stories and that none of them really,
I don't think it tries to be a shared universe. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
But it kind of has like a subtlety of it where it's like maybe it could be.
I think it's cool. I like it. I just don't think it takes as much skill as the I do like it. I like the fact that they are completely different stories, and that none of them are really consequential on one another because they are so different.
I think it's because it's like the way he writes stuff. He's just kind of like, oh yeah, that person. Yeah, they could. I guess they could.
Why not
exist
stick him in there? Yeah.
I mean,
it's a cool little reference, like
I try writing this like mini series where it's like basically like it's an anthology series, like like American Horror Story, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
American Horror Story is a good example of the kind of it's a sort of shared
anthology.
universe.
Yeah, it's all part of the same universe, but none of the characters really
interact with each other because they're all the same actors. Actors,
literally.
But you get me. Oh, Easy is a good example. So Easy is a Netflix anthology show by Joe Swanberg.
Yeah.
And each episode is kind of based on either 1 or 2 or 3 characters at a time. But then there's some characters that appear in other people's episodes because they're all kind of linked because it's set in Chicago where it's basically about relationships, sex, and love, and Chicago. So they kind of link, and he does it quite well. So like, there's this couple who are having like sex problems, and their babysitter, she's the main character in the second episode.
Yeah.
And then the main guy from the couple one, he's an actor, and he appears in one of this actor who's like doing a pilot thing in the last episode, season 1. He's a friend of theirs, and they, like in the last episode, season 3. Loads of them turn up because they all know each other.
Oh right, yeah.
So it kind of feels like it's different to this, but that's another good way of doing that kind of shared universe because they're sharing a city, not so much like a story.
I think another good example is obviously, like I said earlier, Pixar. Just the Pixar films, these little references here and there. It lets you know that everything exists all at the same time.
There's loads of like cues for like Toy Story and stuff in like the Nemo and stuff. Right?
What's it called? Is it what's the pizza place from Toy Story? Is it Pizza Planet?
I think it's Pizza Planet.
Pizza Planet. Pizza Planet appears in Bug's Life and stuff like that.
I like that. Though. It's cool.
It's cool. It's very subtle little things, and it's nice.
Because if they want to do a shared universe, you would have Woody and bloody Nemo, hanging out.
Oh yeah, and that would be wild.
But it's nice to see that like it all because it would make sense for that. Same with Disney.
But if they were to do something like that, what I'm saying is it would take a lot more like. They'd have to really think about it. Yeah. Because it has, each character has to have been impacted in a way, so as that their future isn't.
Well, Finding Nemo is set in Australia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Toy Story is somewhere in America, probably Arizona or something. I don't know.
Bug's Life is also America.
Yeah, so you got all these places. So like,
is it?
Like you got the Tarantino, Big Kahuna Burger could show up in this. I think it does show up in an ad in here. It's in Pulp Fiction. It wouldn't be in Hateful Eight because obviously it wouldn't exist at that point.
Yeah.
But it could be in Reservoir Dogs. It could have been in. Obviously, it was created in Pulp Fiction. It could be in Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
But Jackie Brown, there's nothing in that film that links them because apparently, as I said, that's a Robert Leonard book based on Rum Punch. But yeah, I like the Pixar one is pretty good. The Pixar one is exactly like Tarantino's by far.
Yeah, there's tiny little hints here and there, and I think it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's
cool.
Okay,
these all kind of share.
It's a nod to the fans. It's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Like, that's pretty funny.
So they're not going to do like a Smash Bros where they get all the characters together.
No. However, I'm pretty sure. Was it in the credits for Toy Story 2? Might have been the credits for Toy Story 2. The two main characters from Bug's Life appear in the mid-credit scene.
No way.
Yeah, I think is it when Buzz is hacking through leaves to get to the air vent to get into the building to go and save Woody?
Oh yeah.
Is it when he's hacking through the leaves, like they're on one of the leaves and they get knocked out of the way? It's only like a short scene in the mid credits, but it's a pretty cool thing to like.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
they were thinking about it. Yeah, Bug's Life will appear in Avengers 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow, yeah, I know.
I mean, I hope that Cars doesn't appear in any.
Yeah, no, it was Cars.
Fuck Cars.
Right, I didn't think this would be possible, but apparently it is. Right, recurring segment, rotten reviews.
I mean, people were entitled to,
No, I just thought, like, I went through quite a few earlier, and I didn't think they meant it. It's some good ones.
Some people won't like it, Lord of the Rings is pretty much a perfect film, a perfect film franchise.
You would struggle. I reckon you would struggle with that one. But let's do this first one, right? We got Quentin Tarantino has spared no expense in recreating the splendor of 1960s Los Angeles, but there are lengthy sequences where the film is more interested in the setting and the characters. Would you lie with that?
I get that. I think that makes sense. I think the fact there's no mention of feet really annoys me.
Yeah. I actually want to see that one.
I want to see
that'll probably be positive. Do you think that the characters get neglected for kind of the setting of Los Angeles a bit at times?
I think occasionally, yeah, and I think I can see why that would take it. Why it would take people away from the film.
I think it's some of the music scenes when they're just driving through LA.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that could have been cut mainly at the start. Like the first 25 minutes of the film is just.
I do like. I mean, I can see why people wouldn't like. I like it
because of the music and the way they use the radio station, and it just kind of just. But it's nice to take that drive with them.
I guess it's also stuff like we mentioned the scene where the camera the aerial shots. So it goes from the Van Nuys outdoor cinema to the caravan lot where exactly.
And then there's one that I didn't like a start, but then I realized that makes a lot of sense. That's quite good. Is when it cranes from like Rick Dalton in the pool while he's memorizing his lines
to Sharon
down to Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski heading to the Playboy Mansion. We mentioned that earlier.
That was
pretty good.
But see, I feel like there was a purpose to that
because it was just like right. And now you follow these guys.
Yeah,
kind of like it's a nod to Pulp Fiction without putting Chapter 6, so the Golden Watch or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It just kind of felt.
But I feel like there was a purpose. It was natural. The other one was a bit weird, and I do understand that that why they've said that with the.
It just felt really out of place, those shots with Tarantino. Like you don't really see that. He's kind of more like it's actually quite a lack of his there was like kind of like hard hitting zooms he does.
Yeah. We're just going like that,
the Edgar Wright the same thing. I don't know I can't remember what they're called, but there's just like a push
aggressive zooms,
zoom, like the one with Calvin Candy in Django Unchained.
Oh
He just does it and he just does the nod. Yeah, and it's like that Robert Redford gif. I can't remember what film it's from. The one everyone thinks is Zach Galifianakis, and he's just doing the nod.
Just
the really like small short zoom is just the nod. Yeah, but
I want to see if there's any about feet.
Yeah, it's back to the rotten reviews.
Have we got any about feet? Let's have a look. Or what's that one?
Someone said an irritating experience, and then in brackets full review in Spanish. You can feel the love of cinema in it, but I thought it was fantastically ill-disciplined and indulgent, and whole blocks of DVD extras.
Self-indulgent. I like that. That makes sense. I get.
Didn't say self-indulgent. I just said indulgent. That's kind of it's dissimilar in a way, isn't it?
Either way, indulgent, self-indulgent. I think it's indulgent towards. Tarantino.
I think it's indulgent towards what he kind of remembers being like whatever, I think he would have been 4 in 1969. So
and also,
it's kind of what he remembers from the 60s.
And also his self-indulgence in putting so much feet in the film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a
lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff in there that makes him happy.
Like much of the cult of Tarantino, that ego audiences worship once upon a time might be meaningful and or shocking if it weren't so barbaric, predictable, and vapid.
I wouldn't agree with predictable.
I wouldn't say it's predictable. Well, you would think that until this point.
Yeah, I think it kind of. I can see why people would be able to see what's coming by the end, because it's like, Tarantino, something crazy is going to happen.
People are probably expecting. It's Tarantino. He actually will probably show the murder of Sharon Tate, and it does flip it on us here in a really good way.
Yeah,
in a really good way. It's my favorite part of the film. It's just,
I think it's a bit overly brutal, but
it's a nice, good ending, because you start off when you've seen it more than once, and you can enjoy the film as just the film and not like be like, oh, okay, it's too long or whatever.
Yeah.
You start to enjoy it a bit more in terms of like the way he kind of nails the slow pacing at the start. You're kind of following the characters. You're driving with them. You're getting to know them. They've got this music going on, which kind of like, it is the indulgentness of the era. So he's using appropriate music.
Yeah.
But he's got the radio station where I'll go back to is that radio station. It just like it's great. They listen to this one station.
It creates natural music,
and it's constantly in the background. And
yeah.
There's a lot of scenes where they're just driving in silence, listening to the radio. And I feel like you're taking that drive with them, and then as you it just gets more and more intense as it gets along.
But that could lead.
It kind of blows up the end, and it's just incredible.
That could lead into the other rotten review, though, in that it's a lot of it is about more about the setting than the characters. In that it takes you on a drive through LA.
I like it.
Through Hollywood.
Do you get what I mean?
Like, oh yeah, I like it.
Because it kind of reminds me of
why
that Queens of the Stone Age album. Songs for the Dead.
Songs
for the Deaf. I can't remember. Songs for the Dead. Where it's basically a radio station. It takes you from, I think it's Los Angeles up to the Joshua Tree. So it goes for a mix of different radio stations, but they're all playing Queens of the Stone Age songs. And it's such a good experience. But like, if you're driving, it's even better. But if you're walking listening to that album and you can get through it all, it's an experience. It is, and I think it kind of fills into that. So that's why I like it so much. But yeah, this is a good one actually. It's like being trapped in a taxi with a driver who is not the sweet man you thought he was at the start of the conversation. This work is a record of an obsessive film fan's fixation on a tiny slice of history. Like, that's the best one I read it.
That's amazing.
It's like being trapped in a taxi with a driver who is not the sweet man you thought he was at the start of the conversation.
That's amazing, because
it's so true.
Yeah, it just is true. It's so funny. Oh my god!
But that's exactly that's like an even better analogy for what I just said, and how it's like it starts off really sweet and nice, and then it slowly gets more intense.
Right.
Like, this is not the film I thought it was.
More of this.
Yeah.
I thought he turned a corner. And
he nails
where
he dips in between characters.
Yeah.
I think putting you follow Rick first for a while, right? Usually, when he's working on Lancer, and then and it goes in between, and then you show a bit of Sharon getting the book and in the cinema and getting her feet out and stuff. And then you follow Cliff for probably the longest sequence of it all, because he involves the subplot. Like his kind of like plot line kind of leads it all into Act 3. And it's great how he did that, man. We got another one. I'll do one more because I feel like 4 or 5 is enough.
Imagine having like an intercom at the end of your driveway.
It seems like a pain in the ass, because earlier on they were waiting there for a long time.
Yeah,
a good 5 minutes. So I got one more, and this is quite controversial. It's actually the best one. I'm sorry, but why would
Better than the last one?
Yeah. This is actually really controversial.
Right.
Why would Tarantino make his leading man an O.J. Simpson wife killer? Probably has a lingering effect of his long-time association with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh,
that's quite messed up.
Oh no!
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit wild because people
That's a wild accusation.
People do tend to do, like, especially with, like, you know, filmmakers tend to use their own experiences or the experiences of people they know for this kind of thing.
Actually, I'm going to do another one because this is quite funny. It's just a small one. A love letter. There's no love in this film except self-love, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because he's such a good filmmaker, it looks good and it's great, and it's a good film. But
I love the self, and you got it right.
Stop it from being self-indulgent.
I'm not gonna lie, right? It's probably because it's the way I am when I write stuff as well. But I seem to find the more self-indulgent films better because I feel like it feels a bit true to like real people.
Yeah.
You've got to have a little bit of self-indulgence and stuff because then that's how you get true characters out. That's how you get truth. It just feels a bit more complete. I don't know. I find people who are just kind of like, I think it's because like self-indulgent, you're more putting a lot of your emotions on there as well.
Yeah.
Rather than if you're just kind of like, if you're being commissioned to write like, say fucking James Gunn making Scooby-Doo, right? That's not going to be self-indulgent, is it? Guardians of the Galaxy, on the other hand, is quite self-indulgent.
I mean,
and you can, and that's why they're so good. I feel like the more of you put in something, better the outcome.
That depends.
Because there's a lot of passion going into it.
That depends, though, because then, if you're a bit too self-indulgent, then you end up getting things like,
there's a problem, yeah. I feel like Tarantino is.
Things like the feet. Shit
like that is weird.
That's a bit weird.
But I think I like his attempt on an ode to 1960s Los Angeles.
J.J. Abrams and Lens Flare.
Like I feel like that was an artistic choice that went wrong.
It's just lens flare.
Did he do it in the other ones, or was it just the first one?
I think it.
He didn't do it in Star Wars as much.
I mean, he
Star Trek though is an abomination of that. The first one, at least. Anyway.
Lens flare.
I haven't seen the other ones. I don't think I didn't want to watch.
That's what I mean. When it gets self-indulgent,
like,
if it's something weird that you like feet, or just overly using it.
Oh, fair enough.
Michael Bay and explosions, it gets a bit ridiculous sometimes.
No, I mean, I think at an emotional level, it works.
Yeah.
Like, say you got a story that you want to tell, but you don't know how to tell it.
But I think there has to be a certain level of it. You can't just go over the top with it.
No, exactly.
Because then as soon as you start going over the top is when stuff when bad ideas just end up making it into a film because, it's nobody else is there to check you or anything.
That's true. No,
it's always,
got a fair point there,
it's good. I think it's good to draw on your own experiences and your own emotions and stuff like that because it gifts something a sense of realism and a sense of people can empathize with it. Yeah. But if it gets a bit too self-indulgent,
in a physical sense, like the feet and weird fetishes and stuff, there's a cap line there. But I don't know. Say you've experienced something.
Adam Sandler always writes the same character in every single one of his films.
Yeah, who's Kevin James playing? Do you mean?
Yeah.
Right. This is the one thing I do want to talk about, and we're coming to the greatest part of the film, the dog walk. And he's just smoked an acid-dipped cigarette.
Do you know what I don't understand about this, though? The least believable part about this.
Oh, he
sequence.
does. Sorry, he does walk past them. Yeah, he does. Oh.
But for me, the least believable part of this sequence is the fact that acid cigarette has been in that box for 6 months, and he just hasn't smoked it. If you think about it, because it happens, because he gets the acid cigarette.
Do you think it works like the Ludes in Wolf of Wall Street, where it just comes in really late? Because obviously he's taking the dog for a walk for a while, but
no, but what I mean is is really strange how he gets the acid cigarette before the 6 month time jump.
Yeah,
and he still has it here, which for me is how have you had it in the box for 6 months and you haven't even thought about smoking it yet?
Oh, because when he picked it up, it was when they were doing the FBI, and then it must have been a few days later, and they moved in with the Rome dude. Literally within days, I think.
Did he not take any of his stuff with him?
Well, he probably just left it in his house. Probably forgot about it. And then
I guess.
And he's probably no, he probably went to get a cigarette because he's taking the dog for a walk. He looked in the box, went, oh,
Oh, I remember.
I remember this, and he thought, I think tonight's the night. Huh?
But if I had something like, see this, I love this. This scene here is great for me because it's just DiCaprio being a prick, and it's so funny because he's so good at being
so
a
drunk
dick.
as well.
He's so good at being just a massive dickhead.
I love how they drive past Cliff and they don't recognize him.
Yeah,
and they don't even recognize him later on either. They just don't.
This all could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Actually, no, to be fair, he still had the dog with him, didn't he?
Yeah, true. But that's one thing as well, because when they drive the car back down, and then Maya Hawke gets out and takes the car, and they got to walk back, and then it cuts to Cliff, and he's almost in the house. So like they must have walked past each other again.
Yeah,
on that hill.
Either that, or because he's gone.
He's probably just walked his dog to the bottom of the road.
Because
the way
because he does mention a park, doesn't he?
Oh, it could be probably like down the road.
No, he mentions the woods, doesn't he? He mentions the woods.
So it could be down the road.
So what I was thinking is maybe he went he walks a specific way to go to the woods, and that's why he didn't cross them on the way back because
it's like halfway.
Exactly.
That's a very picky thing, though. I gotta admit.
I mean, but I guess it can make sense. Then that's probably why Yeah, she really dodges a bullet in this whole end of the film, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Because the rest of them get fucked
up, mashed. Stands on his fucking head.
She made a really The guy who play what's the guy who plays Tex? What's his name?
Right. So I swear
What's his name?
Austin Butler.
What was he in? I can't.
Austin Butler. I was going to mention this is what I forgot. One thing I forgot earlier, which I find really great. Austin Butler, he was in Nez Declassified.
Oh yeah.
And he's the guy who plays with the basketball.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird, man, isn't it? And he's just in this Tarantino.
He goes from that to being curb stomped.
Yeah. Gotta get your head in the game, mate.
And it's a fucking brutal kill as well.
I think
because that kills him. Doesn't it?
think
that's the kill.
Katie, the ginger girl, she gets it the worst. I know the other one gets like a fucking can of dog food thrown at their face, bitten by a dog, and then burnt to a fucking crisp.
I think hers is pretty bad. But then again, his head pretty much explodes when Brad Pitt.
He does get his nuts. He does get his balls.
Yeah, he gets his balls, his arm fucking ripped as well, and then he gets curb stomped. His head pretty much.
She gets her head just smashed on a telephone.
Yeah. Hers is fucking horrible because it's the little metal bit as well. It's disgusting. I think it's a bit too much. It's very gratuitous.
I still find a problem with this. The whole him walking back. It just seems a bit weird. It still seems weird.
Well, that he got back and
it feels like they didn't think that bit through. And he was like, "Oh, how am I going to implement this? It needs to be an acid doing the scene for it to be funnier, and for him to go a bit crazy because he he's on acid." How do I do that? You can't just gonna sit there smoking a cigarette.
To be fair though, there are a lot of leaps of that you can make with this. In terms of it could just be that he's, like we said earlier, it could just be a different. He goes down a certain way, a certain distance and then turns off somewhere, and that's why they don't see each other. But it's also one of those things where
it's the cut. It is.
The cuts. Yeah.
It's the way it cuts from them. They start walking back up the hill, and then he's already at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
So when they were having that chat, they would have crossed paths at one point.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, but he might have been able to walk. It might have just been a thing where he walked around.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said.
I think I'm just being picky again.
A lot of leaps of faith, being made, but. Hypothetically, it could just be he does a lap of something.
That was good. That little shot there on the dog can. It said, "Good food for mean dogs."
Boy, they ain't lying.
That's a little subtle hint. Now he's gonna tear some shit apart. I think the entire film, I was waiting for that dog to do something. Though when I watched this in the cinema, I was like, "This dog's gonna have a purpose."
Yeah, it's gonna kill someone.
Because I think for me it's disciplined.
Yeah,
and I think he definitely trains that dog.
Stone cold killer.
Yeah, because if it was DiCaprio in opening the door or getting just getting bukakied with them all coming in the room together. Bum rush, I meant to say. You know, when they all come through the door.
Yeah.
He probably would have been killed. But Brad Pitt,
honestly,
like,
this scene,
I can't get past it. He's the best character in this film.
This scene of these three walking now, and earlier just now.
This is almost like American Pie level of like how fuck along have you walking.
For me, this if you put this scene in like the trailer for a new Kim Possible film or something like that, I wouldn't be able to tell.
I keep
the difference.
thinking, right, in the kind of like silhouetted shots, Katie, the ginger one.
Yeah.
I actually looked up their names. She's the only one who's got. She's only one of the Madsen Think crew who doesn't have like a weird
name like Pussycat.
Yeah, or like Gypsy.
Thank you for bringing back my pussy.
Or Clem. Yeah, and he's like, we all love pussy. I was like, yeah, we do. Yeah, she looks like what's her name from Scott Pilgrim?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim?
No, I haven't.
I saw you mentioned this. Scott Pilgrim there last week. Yeah, we were talking about you. Yeah.
I think his wife is such a funny addition to the film.
Yeah. Lorenzo Izzo, that is.
It's so funny.
You seen that film with Keanu Reeves and he lets those two girls in?
Oh, yeah.
She's one of the girls.
No way.
Yeah.
You're lying.
What's it called? Knock Knock?
Knock Knock.
I think it's Knock.
That was an awful film. I loved it. It was hilarious, but
it
wasn't intentionally hilarious.
Was that Eli Roth who directed that as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Eli Roth, aka the Bear Jew from Inglourious Bastards. Yeah, Lorenzo Izzo and Ana de Armas, who's in Blade Runner 2049.
Damn.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Isn't not that good then? Or?
I enjoyed it because I was laughing the entire time. If you go into it expecting a horror film, then you'll be very disappointed. Or a good horror film, then you'll be disappointed because it's not.
So she looks nothing like she does in this film. She's in The Green Inferno. She's married to Eli Roth. Well, not anymore. They divorced. Never mind. Whoops. Yeah, that's why I know her from. Yeah, I know her from Knock Knock. Which I haven't even seen. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Green Inferno, that would be in the film. The reason I love this bit so much, this ending, is it's just why he just grabs the flamethrower for no reason.
To be fair, it would be the first thing I went for if I knew I had it.
Oh yeah, but I love how out of character it is. It's great because he's just quite chill. Like obviously Cliff has been doing all the,
Yeah, but then again, he has been a cunt for a bit of the film.
Does hit the hit? He's like, why is there a hippie in my pool? I know he swims past her instead of going around and then running round.
Yeah.
He just goes he's like, I'm just going to swim here. No, it's the way the music.
I love the way
the music changes.
I love the way he runs along with small steps as well, so
yeah,
he doesn't slip. It's so fun. It's like little things like that make it so funny.
I should usually have the music. There we go. The zoom.
Yeah.
The zoom. We had it. We finally had.
Do you know what I find so funny?
Because if it's like, what the fuck?
What I find so funny is that Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski don't hear any of this.
Roman Polanski's in London.
Oh yeah, he's away. Okay, right, yeah. So Sharon Tate and the other two don't hear any of this going on. I don't care how far away they are.
Dude, they may be the ones who called the cops.
Are they?
They might have been, yeah.
But she.
How the fuck are the cops supposed to know?
But they don't really have any knowledge of it when.
Yeah, they just called the cops. We heard loud bangs and stuff coming from the neighbour's house.
Did they say that?
I don't know. I'm just assuming that.
Because I know that they didn't know what had happened because they asked him about it, didn't they, at the gate? Oh yeah. Well, they asked him what was going on. I think they wanted to know what happened. But then again, if you look here, this
is actually the aftermath, so they could have just run on themselves.
But yeah, that's what I mean. It could.
I love that there's no repercussions for them though. Like we don't find out anything.
they just
Cliff literally
fuck them up.
I think it's quite. I think it ties into the reason he must have killed his wife then, because obviously he's going to get away with this one as well. Yeah. So clearly, I don't know. He just knows how to evade. He
clearly has a temper.
He's above the law.
Yeah. Or he's clearly a bit sadistic because this is all very much overkill.
When you think about it though, this is the kind of self-defense where it's like they came in, they trespassed on, they broke into their house, attacked them with weapons. Either they die or they kill them themselves.
Yeah,
you're not going to get arrested.
But it's very.
That's not
what I'm saying is it's
murder, but it's not murder on I don't know. With Cliff, I think it's all very over the top. Like
That's why when I said earlier, oh, do you think he killed his wife? It's like, yeah, it's definitely possible he could have killed his wife because of how fucking savage the beatings he gave the other two were.
He was on acid though.
He was on acid.
But then again, he torched the other one. He completely torched it. Yeah. Like, because that zoom where like she's like kind of like, oh shit.
She was gonna die anyway.
Blast her, man.
She was gonna die anyway. Like, she would have died at one point.
She would have drowned.
She was already fucked. Like,
yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's just funny. Do you reckon that's the one thing? Do you reckon there'll be any repercussions for either of these two for murdering those, or do you think they'll be kind of let go and be like? Oh, I
think there will be for Cliff.
Like, why did you brutally murder them?
Because, no, I think there will be for Cliff just purely because he already has the reputation for killing his wife.
Yeah, there's no proof though.
There's no proof, but he does have a reputation. Is what I'm saying, is that, you know, like with the, you know, the first, in the beginning of the film when he when what's it called, what's her name,
Zoe Bell,
the one who's the wife
of Kurt Russell, yeah. Zoe Bell,
is that if there's already people like that who are like, oh, you know,
but I think that's more just a work, like a rumor, not so much like.
Oh, but that's what I mean, is that this would only exacerbate that rumor. And make it even worse.
Bringing it back.
That would only exacerbate.
I mean, it's like, what does exacerbate mean? It means to make things worse.
But that's what I mean. Is it would only make the rumor worse. More people.
Yeah,
would,
okay, fair enough.
It's essentially the same thing as, like, you know, when
it's just the brutality of it.
With the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna thing, is that people were like, oh well, you know, we don't really like Chris Brown now, and then another thing happened with Chris Brown supposedly beating a woman or something. Yeah. Then people dislike him even more because they're like, oh, we've got more evidence, or, you know, or there's this other rumor now that this has happened.
Right, fair enough. You got a point,
like, there. You know,
but it's a rumor. Chris Brown actually did those things.
Yeah. Oh, he did. He definitely did the first time. I don't know.
Proof.
I don't know if there's much proof.
Well, if he did it once, he'll do it again. Times. So, you know.
But see, this is my thing: is if someone has a reputation for it,
yeah, but he hasn't got proof. So, like, it's just a rumor. So it would work differently, wouldn't it?
Oh, but even then, there's, you know, if there's a reputation for it.
Yeah, okay, fair. But yeah, thanks for doing this for the 5th time. I watched this film for the 5th time.
I'm a regular now.
You're a regular, yeah. You're like one of those guys in the pubs that just,
I was literally about to say, I'm that old guy who sits at the end of the bar
drinking John Smiths.
Yeah, man.
That is you, mate.
That's me.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so go and subscribe to HillRat Productions on YouTube if you want to hear more content. We have other stuff as well, like Red Pill and Blue Pill and Game Set Chat, although we have more stuff coming out in 2020. So keep your ears peeled. Oh no, keep your you can check us out on, you know, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
all the important
pretty much
ones.
All the important ones. Unfortunately, we're not on Acast right yet because we ain't cool enough. But yeah, if you want to hear more, subscribe to all our social medias as well. I've been Charlie Pitts and I've been here with Josh O'Mahony, and this has been the Conversation Is podcast. Goodbye.
See you later.